Hello, my dear students. Welcome to Sankalp learning classes. So, today we are going to discuss some important questions from the chapter Biodiversity and Conservation. So, already you studied about the topics, the important topics and the synopsis of this chapter. So just we are discussing some multiple choice questions which are very important for your KCET exam. Okay, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ರೀಕಾಲ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟಡಿಡ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ಏನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಈ ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ? So the first thing is about the diversity, alva. So what is the meaning of the diversity? So diversity means that is the occurrence of the variety of the organisms in our biosphere, that is called as diversity, alva. So in biodiversity, so the diversity is described in three levels. So the first one is genetic diversity, then species diversity, ecological diversity ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಮೂರು ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ecological diversity and the examples for this. Then the number of organisms living on earth and the number of organisms they are present in India ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಆರ್ಗಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅರ್ತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ದೆನ್ ದ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ. Loss of biodiversity, the reasons for the ಲಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಏನೇನ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಇತ್ತು? ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಏಲಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಇನ್ವೇಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಯಾಟ್ ಫ್ರಾಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಹಾಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ. ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ನ್ಯಾರೋ ಯುಟಿಲಿಟೇರಿಯನ್, ಬ್ರಾಡ್ಲಿ ಯುಟಿಲಿಟೇರಿಯನ್, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಆರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ ದ ಬಯೋಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ದೆನ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೆಂಚುರೀಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಕ್ರಯೋ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಕ್ರಯೋ ಪ್ರಿಸರ್ವೇಷನ್, ದೆನ್ ಸೀಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್. So these are the different methods we use to conserve the biodiversity. So here there are two types, ex situ and in situ alva. So these are the two methods of conservation, ex situ and the in situ conservation. So these all are the important points that we are studied in this chapter ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ರೀಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ಸಿನಾಪ್ಸಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಏನೇನ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಏನೇನ್ ಈ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ರೀಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ MCQ ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 1. The variation shown by the medicinal plant Rauwolfia vomitoria growing in different Himalayan ranges represents option A, genetic diversity, option B, species diversity, option C, ecological diversity, option D, community diversity. So here I hope you know the meaning of what is ecological diversity, what is species diversity, what is genetic diversity alva. So here yes, so ecological diversity means that is the different types of the ecosystem present in a particular geographical area alva. So that is called as ecological diversity. For example, desert ecosystem and mangrove ecosystem, mangrove, and the coral reef ecosystem, dense forest ecosystem. So these all the ecosystem present in a particular area is called as ecological diversity. Then this example is not shown by the, this is not a ecological diversity. Then species diversity means, so the occurrence of the different species, so occurrence of the different species uh, within a ಜೀನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದು ಅಂತದ್ದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ದ ಆಂಪಿಬಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್, amphibians, they have greater number of species in the western ghats compared to the eastern ghats. So species ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ದೆನ್ genetic diversity means, so this Rolfia omitoria growing in a different Himalayan ranges represents the genetic diversity. Means, so that produces the chemical that is called as reserpine. So that shows the genetic level diversity. Means that belongs to the same species. So but they produces the different chemicals. So that shows the genetic diversity. Option A is the correct answer. Okay, let's move to the question number 2. Which of the following groups represents the minimum species diversity among the vertebrates? Birds, mammals, reptiles, amphibians. So if you consider the different vertebrates, the first one fishes, then amphibians, then reptiles, birds and the mammals, right? So if you consider the total number of organisms so present in a mammals, different species of mammals, birds and reptiles, amphibians, so which represents the minimum species diversity, that is mammals. Option D, mammals is the correct answer. So here the fishes, they show the maximum number of species diversity. Okay, so fishes, they have maximum, mammals, they have minimum number of species diversity. So for this question, B is the correct answer. Question number 3. More conservative and scientifically sound estimate made by the Robert May places the global species diversity at about, okay, option A 1.5 million, option B 7 million, option C 1.7 million, option D 17 million. So here the scientist Robert May, he estimated the global diversity, species diversity. So that is 7 million. The correct answer is 7 million. So here 1.5 million, that is, so the estimation made by the other IUCN. So the estimation by the IUCN, that is 1.5 million total number of species discovered on Earth, that is by the IUCN. So but the estimation made by the Robert May, that is 7 million. The correct answer is option B. Next question. Species diversity of plants on Earth is 2.5%, option B 22%, option C 7.1%, option D 32%. So the species diversity of plants on Earth is, see here, so around 1.5 million species are estimated by the IUCN. So out of this 1.5 million species, 70% species are animals and the 22% are plants. So the species diversity of plants on Earth is 22%. Option B is the correct answer. Next question. Insects are the most numerous with estimate of option A 7 out of 12 invertebrates, option B 4 out of 10 invertebrates, option C 7 out of 10 animals, option D 4 out of 10 animals. See which is the correct answer. Yes, someone is writing the answer. Option A 7 out of 10 vertebrates. Okay, let's see the answer. Insects are the most numerous with estimate of. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ total 1.5 million ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So here 1.5 million ಅಲ್ಲಿ 70% are animals, around 22% are plants ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಈ 70% animals ಅಲ್ಲಿ around 70% ಏನು, so they are insects. Okay, so insects are more, so in this 70%, so 7 out of 10 invertebrate insects are the most numerous with estimate of 7 out of 10 invertebrate. Option A is the correct answer. Okay, for this question, option A is the correct answer. Question number 6. Read the following statements. In India has a greater ecosystem diversity than Norway. According to the IUCN 2004, the total number of plant and animal species described so far is slightly more than 15 million. See here, option both 1 and 2 are correct. B only 2 is correct. C both 1 and 2 are incorrect. Option D only 1 is correct. Okay, let's see the answer. India has a greater ecosystem diversity than Norway. Okay, so here this is the correct sentence because India, so that is located in the tropical region, right? But the Norway, that is towards the pole, so that is in the Arctic region. So there is the temperature is very less and it receives the less sunlight. So due to this factor, so Norway has the less ecosystem diversity than India. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Then, according to the IUCN 2004, the total number of plant and animal species described so far is slightly more than 15 million. So, it is not more than 15 million, that is 1.5 million. Okay, so second statement is wrong. So, which is the correct answer here? Both 1 and 2 are correct? No, this is the wrong one. Only 2 is correct? No, 2 is the wrong one. Both 1 and 2 are incorrect. No, this is the wrong one. D. Yes, only 1 is correct. Only statement 1 is correct. So, option D is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following is not an in situ technique? ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇನ್ ಸಿತು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಇನ್ ಸಿತು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ವೇರ್ ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದರ್ ಓನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಯಾಟ್. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಟೈಗರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ವಿದಿನ್ ದರ್ ಓನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಯಾಟ್, ಸೊ ಆ ಟೈಗರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಸೊ ದ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಇನ್ ಸಿತು ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್. So which of the following is not an in situ technique? So here national parks. So national parks ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, animals ಅನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, within their own natural habitat. And the sanctuaries, wildlife sanctuaries, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಆನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ರೆಡ್ ಗ್ರೋವ್, ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ರೆಡ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ರೆಡ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ the plants and animals are conserved for the cultural belief ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಬಿಲೀಫ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸು ಅಲೋ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಬಿಲೀಫ್. So cryopreservation is the technique, so that belongs to the ex situ conservation. So here the correct answer is ex situ. So that is the cryopreservation, where the gametes are preserved from the particular species. So these gametes that can be used to grow, the male and female gametes are preserved in a particular temperature. So that can be used to grow the new organism. So that is the cryopreservation. So correct answer is option A, cryopreservation. Then the relationship between species richness S and the area A represented in the following graph is described by the equation. See the graph here, area is given and species richness is given in the y-axis. Then see the rectangular hyperbola and the log scale also. So what is the equation here? Okay, so you know that this species area relationship that is given by the scientist, anyone, do you know the scientist name? Alexander Humboldt, right? So what it says, species area richness, so relationship, when the area increases, explored area increases, so that also shows the more species richness, alva. So species richness increases with increasing the area of explored. So that is the definition of, or that is the relationship between the species and area. So here the graph is described by, so there is a equation log s is equal to log c plus z log a. So by using this one, applying the log scale, log s is equal to log c plus z log a. Option B is the correct answer. Next one. In global biodiversity of plants, the option A, angiosperms represents the maximum number. B, algae represents the minimum number. Option C, fungi represents the minimum number. Option D, mosses represents the maximum number. So if you see the global biodiversity of plants. Okay, yes, what is the correct answer? Yes, very good. Option A. See here, option D, mosses represents the maximum number. So here mosses, they do not have the more species in their mosses. So it do not represents the maximum number. So it is the wrong one. Fungi represents the minimum number. Fungi actually before it was there in the plant kingdom, but it is not as a not considered as a plant now. So fungi, so that has the variety of species richness, but maximum number. So fungi not also correct answer. Algae represents the minimum number. So algae have the some species richness, so that do not represents the minimum number. So here correct answer is angiosperm represents the maximum number, because they have the variety of species that belongs to the angiosperm. So for question number 9, option A is the correct answer. Question number 10. Which of the following taxon shows a maximum species diversity? Anybody, if you know the answer, please write the answer in the chat box. Which of the following taxon shows the maximum species diversity? Yes, let's see the answer. Option A, fishes. Okay. So here, if you consider the vertebrates, fishes, they have the more species compared to the other one. But here, the ants, orchids and the beetles. So if you consider these all options, So the correct option is beetles. Okay. So beetles, they show around 3,50,000 different types of species. So 3,50,000 different types of beetle species are there. So option B is the correct answer. That is beetle. Question number 11. Conventional taxonomic methods are not suitable for identifying. Conventional taxonomic methods means we use the some traditional method. So by using the leaf structure, then plant stem and plant morphology, what type of the reproductive organs. So these all by using the conventional method means by using the some traditional method, by counting the number of types of flowers, type of leaf, then the reproductive organs. So this is where we use these all methods in the conventional taxonomic method. So that is not suitable for amphibian species. No, it is suitable for naming the amphibian species. Insect species, yes, it is also suitable for that. But the microbial species, because they are microscopic and they do not show this what you call type of leaves and the morphology, and also the microscope is required to observe these microbial species. So conventional method is not useful for this. So that is the microbial species. Option C is the correct answer. Next question. India has dash percentage of world's land area. Its share of the global species diversity is an impressive dash percentage. Option A 8.1, 2.4, option B 2212, option C 1222, option D 2.4, 8.1. Yes, what is the correct answer? Please write down in the chat box. Okay, option D. So India has world's dash land area. So that is 2.4%. Means India share is 2.4%. So when you compare the global area, okay, land area, it shares the global species diversity, that is an impressive, that is 8.1%. So if you consider the total world biodiversity, India's contribution is 8.1%. Why? You can see the species richness in this region because India is located in the tropical region, right? So where it receives the more sunlight, and which is the condition is suitable for the plants and the animals. So option D is the correct answer. Next question. What is the approximate ratio of animals and the plant species in our country? Option A 3 is to 1, option B 2 is to 1, option C 1 is to 3, option D 1 is to 2. So here animals and plant species ratio. Animal and plant. What is the ratio? Yes, anybody? Please tell me the answer. Yes, if you know the answer, please write down in the chat box. Answer gottidya? Okay. So it is mentioned like around 45,000 plant species are there and twice as the animals. So this plant species, so twice as the animals. So animals are around 90 to 92,000 animal species are there. So the ratio is 45 to the 90. 2 is to 1 is the ratio. Okay. The ratio is 2 is to 1. Option B means around 90 to 92,000 animal species and around 45,000 plant species are there. So option B is the correct answer, not C. Option B is the correct one. 2 is to 1. Then let's move to the question number 14. So here, according to rivet popper hypothesis, key species are represented by option A, airplane, option B, rivets on the windows and rivets on the wings, option D, both B and C. So in the popper hypothesis, so he compared the ecosystem. He compared the ecosystem to the airplane, right? Then the species in an ecosystem that is considered as rivets. Then the key species means so which are very important to maintain the ecological balance. So they are rivet on the wings, because in airplane wings rivets are very important. If wing is not correct means it is not able to fly properly, right? It causes the danger to the airplane. So here rivet on the wings compared to key species. So here the key species are compared to the rivets on the wings. Option C, because so these key species means they are very important. So if there is a no key species means that affect the that cause the environmental imbalance. So option C is the correct answer. Rivet on the wings. Not D. Option rivet on the windows, so that is important, but so mainly the rivet on the wings are important. Okay, so as mentioned in your NCRT, so option C is the correct answer. Okay, then question number 15. Read the following statements. The tropics harbor more species than temperate or polar areas. 2. Colombia, located near the equator, has nearly 1,400 species of birds. Third one, India has less than 105 species of birds. So here option A 1 and 2 are incorrect. Option B 2 and 3 are incorrect. Option C 1 and C means 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 3 you consider. 1 and 3 are incorrect. Option D, only 3 is incorrect. Okay. Yes, let's explain this topic. Tropics harbors more species than the temperate or polar areas. So if you consider this as a globe, the equator, so temp this is the tropical region. I'll write T. Then next temperate region, TEMP, and the polar region, right? So temperate and the polar region. See here, the area near this equator, so they have more species than the temperate and polar area. So if you compare the temperate region and the polar region, more species are there. Yes, that is the correct one. Colombia, located near the equator, has 1,400 species of birds. Yes, that is also correct one. Colombia, located near the equator and which has the 1,400 species birds, so that is also correct. India has less than 105 species of birds. So this is the incorrect one. So India has around 1,200 species of birds. So this number is wrong. So this one is correct. See here, 1 and 2 are incorrect. No, 1 and 2 are correct. So option A is wrong one. B, 2 and 3 are incorrect. No. 1 and 3 are incorrect. That is also wrong one. Only 3 is incorrect. Yes. So here only 3 is incorrect. Remaining 2 are correct statements. So here only 3 is incorrect. So option D is the correct answer. Next question. Amazonian rainforest in the South America is home to more than species dash species of plants and the dash species of fishes. So here, what's the answer? Option C. Okay. No, option C is the wrong one. Okay. Amazonian rainforest in South America is home to more than dash species of plants. Around how many species of plants are there? 40,000. 40,000 species of plants or the 3,000 species of fishes. So what's the correct answer for this? Option A, 3,000 species of plants and the 40,000 species of fishes. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Question number 17. Select the incorrect statement with respect to greater biological diversity in tropics. Okay. So, ಈ question ಅನ್ನ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಓದಿ. Tropical latitudes have remained relatively undisturbed for millions of years and thus had a long evolutionary time for species diversification. Tropical environments are more seasonal and less predictable than temperate. 3. There is more solar energy available which contributes to higher productivity. Okay. See here. Option A 1 and 2, option B only 2, option C 2 and 3, option D only 1. Here, incorrect statement we have to find out. There is a more solar energy available which contribute the higher productivity. So in the tropical region, so the region near the equator, so this is the equator and this is the equator and this is the tropical region. So that is the correct one, which receives the more sunlight, right? Then any other areas, then tropical latitudes have remained relatively undisturbed. Yes, that is correct. So this tropical region that do not that is undisturbed because it do not undergo the glaciation and some other process. So where the ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಟ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಆಕರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಟ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ಲೇಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಆ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ತ್ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಟ್ರಾಪಿಕಲ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ರಿಚ್ನೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಒನ್. ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, tropical environments are more seasonal, so they are less seasonal, right, and less predictable. They are more predictable, we can predict the environment than the temperate. So this is the wrong statement. So here only 2, option B is the correct one. Only 2 is the wrong answer. Next question. Species are relationships among species and relationships among the very large areas like the entire continent, the z value in the range of. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಏರಿಯಾ and the species richness. So here the log scale curve is log scale curve is like this, and this is the curve, and this is the log scale. The equation is log c is equal to log s is equal to log c plus z log a ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿತ್ತು equation. So here what is the value of z? So that is the value of z that remains in between 0.1 to 0.2, 1.15, 0.3 to 0.6, 0.6 to 1.2. So here option D, 0.6 to 1.2 is the correct answer. For very large areas like entire continents, so Z value remains 1.6 to 1.2. Okay, yes, that is the correct one. Next question. Which of the following ecologist gave Rivet Popper hypothesis? Option A, David Tillman. Option B, Alexander von Humboldt. Option C, Robert May. Option D, Paul Ehrlich. So here David Tillman, so field experiments, that is related to the field experiments, so that is related to the biodiversity. Alexander von Humboldt, the experiment related to the species area relationship. Species area relationship. Robert May, he estimated the global biodiversity and the biodiversity of India and the biodiversity estimation, that is by the Robert May. So the correct answer is Paul Ehrlich. So the scientist name Paul Ehrlich, so who gave the Rivet Popper hypothesis. Okay, option D is the correct one. Which of the following statement is wrong? Option A, stable community should show much variation in the productivity from year to year. Option B, according to Tillman's long-term ecosystem experiments, increased diversity contributed to higher productivity. Option C, stable community must be resistant to occasional disturbances. Option D, rich biodiversity is essential for ecosystem health but imperative for the very survival of human race on this planet. See here, which of the following statement is wrong? If you know the answer, please comment it. Which of the following statement is wrong? A stable community should show much variation in the productivity from year to year. Stable community means so which undergo the less changes, and the species diversity that is remains same. So that is a stable community. So show the much variation in the productivity from year to year? No, it will not show the much variation, because that the species that will be remains same. No, so that will not show the variation from year to year. According to Tillman's long-term ecosystem experiments, increase the diversity contributed by the to higher productivity. That is also correct answer. And option C, stable community must be resistant to occasional disturbances. Yes, the stable community that remains resistant to the occasional disturbances. And rich biodiversity is essential for the ecosystem health but imperative for the very survival of the human race in this planet. Yes, this is the correct statement. So option A is the correct one. Okay, some students are asking for the question number 16. Okay. Okay. So, what is the question? Amazon rainforest in the South America, the total America is home for more than dash species of plants and the dash species of that is fishes, right? So here the more than, yeah, so here the correct answer is C. 16C is the correct one. More than 40,000 of plants and 3,000 of fishes. Option C is the correct one. So mark it for question number 16. Option C is the correct one. Okay. Not A. 40,000 species of plants and 3,000 species of fishes. Okay. So if you have doubts, please ask like this. We'll clarify the doubt. Okay. Then match the list 1 with the list 2. List 1 and the list 2. List 1 endemism, hotspot of India, sacred grove, cryopreservation. Endemism means so the organisms confined to the particular area only. So A, the species found in particular area only. Yes. So here A 2, right? So in the option A2 is there. Yes, in the option A2 is there. Option B not there. Option C also not there. Option D it is there. So you can go for A, D. Okay. So you have to check only A and D. Then hotspot of India. Khasi and Jaintia Hills, Advanced ex situ conservation, Western Ghats. So here there is a confusion between Khasi and Jaintia Hills and Western Ghats, right? So you go for the cryopreservation. Cryopreservation, that is the advanced ex situ conservation. So D3. So in the option A, D1 is there. So you can easily eliminate the option A. Here D3 is there. So in the option A and D, so only option D is the correct one because on here D3 is there. Then B4, C1, B4, hotspot of India, that is the Western Ghat, and the sacred grove, that is Khasi and Jaintia Hills. So for this question, option D is the correct answer. Hotspot of India, that is Western Ghat, and also means hotspot means where the species richness is more. Okay. Species richness is more, so that is called as hotspot of India. Then sacred grove, so the forest is protected because of the cultural belief of the people of the particular area, so that is also present in Khasi and Jaintia Hills. So option D is the correct option. Yes, question number 19. Which of the following statement is wrong? See, a stable community should show much variation in the productivity from year to year. So this is the wrong statement because a stable community means where there is a less disturbance in the species diversity. That means the species remains same. So there is no extinction of species. So that is called as a stable community. So here plant and animal species, they are stable in a particular geographical area, that do not show the much variation because the species will remain same, right? So that do not show the more year to year variation in the productivity. So here it is showing the much variation is there. So option A is the wrong one. According to the Tillman's long-term ecosystem experiment, increased diversity contributed the higher productivity. Diversity is more means higher the productivity. That is the correct statement. Stable community must be resistant to occasional disturbances. So if there is a occasional disturbance in temperature or in water or abiotic factors, so that should be stable. That is the correct statement. Rich biodiversity is essential for ecosystem health. Yes, that is very essential for the ecosystem health, imperative for the very survival of the human race on this planet. So that is very important for the survival of the human beings on this planet. So B, C, D all are correct options, but option A is the wrong one. Then question number 22. The largely tropical Amazon rainforest in South America has the greatest biodiversity on earth. ಸೊ ಯು ನೋ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದ ಅಮೆಝಾನ್ ರೇನ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅಮೆಝಾನ್ ರೇನ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರ. ಸೊ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ರಿಚ್ನೆಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್, ಆನಿಮಲ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ವರ್ಟಿಬ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೋಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಶಸ್? Option A 3000, option B 40,000, option C 1300, option D 1,25,000. Yes, which is the correct answer? Here, the correct option is 3,000 species of fishes is the correct answer. And 40,000 species of plants are there in the Amazon rainforest. And 1,300 types of birds are there. And 1,25,000 types of invertebrates species are there in the Amazon rainforest. So here they asked only about the fishes. So here 3,000 types of fishes species are there, fish species are there. So option A is the correct one. Then question number 23. Select the odd one out. Yes, select the odd one out in terms of narrowly utilitarian services of biodiversity. Narrowly utilitarian andre ಏನು? So commonly what we get from the in a narrow utilitarian, what we get from the plant species, right? So means plant and animal species. So here we get some food, firewood, then some industrial products like resins, rubber, tannins ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ, ಫುಡ್ ಫಾಡರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸೊ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಫೈರ್ವುಡ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇಕನಾಮಿಕಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ನ್ಯಾರೋಲಿ ಯುಟಿಲಿಟೇರಿಯನ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ಫೈರ್ವುಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ನ್ಯಾರೋಲಿ ಯುಟಿಲಿಟೇರಿಯನ್. Food that is also narrowly utilitarian. Oxygen that is a broadly utilitarian. Industrial products that is narrowly utilitarian. So oxygen that is the broadly utilitarian. So option C is the correct answer. Which of the following? So that is the odd one out, that is the oxygen. Option C. Then question number 24. Select the odd one out in terms of alien species invasions. So alien species invasion andre ಏನು? So in a particular area some indigenous species are living. Okay, so indigenous species means they are present from they are in a particular area from many time, means they are confined to that region. So original species in ಕಾಮನ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇರತ್ತಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಏಲಿಯನ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಅದರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸಮ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ವೇರ್ habitat that is transferred to the particular habitat. So this species are called as alien species. So compare, so you use this alien species invasion topic, stellar sea cow, lantana, eichhornia, carrot grass. So which one is the odd one? So here stellar sea cow, that is the odd one because that is the extinct organism, and that is not a alien species, that is a indigenous species of a particular area. Here lantana, eichhornia and carrot grass, so these are the alien species, means from somewhere they brought and they are grown in a particular area. So they are called as alien species, lantana, eichhornia and carrot grass. So stellar sea cow, that is the odd one. Next, question number 25. How many of the following sacred groves locations are correctly matched? Okay, so ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ರೆಡ್ ಗ್ರೂವ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನೋಡಿ, Aravali Hills, Rajasthan. Yes, that is the correct one. Aravali Hills, they are located in the Rajasthan. Western Ghats, Karnataka and Maharashtra. Yes, that is the correct one. Karnataka and Maharashtra. Chanda and Bastar areas, Madhya Pradesh. Yes, that is also correct one. Then Sarchuga, Gujarat. So this place that is not located in Gujarat, that is located in Chhattisgarh. Okay. So here the last option, it is located in the Chhattisgarh. So option C, 3 are correct. Yes. Option C, 3 are correctly matched, but this one that is not correctly matched. So it is there in Chhattisgarh. It is located in Chhattisgarh. Okay. Question number 26. Select the odd one out in terms of ex situ conservation strategies. So ex situ conservation ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Ex situ conservation means ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, the organism that is grown or protected out of their original habitat. ಸೊ ಅದರ ಒಂದು ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So here botanical gardens, zoological parks, sacred groves, wildlife safari park. Alva. So here botanical garden, that is ex situ conservation, where the plants are grown from the some other places. Zoological park, so that is also a, it is also called a zoo, right? So this zoological park also ex situ conservation. Sacred grove, that is not a ex situ conservation, that is in situ, because the organisms and the plants are protected in a particular area because of cultural belief. So that is the correct one. Wildlife safari park, that is a ex situ conservation. So then the correct option, that is odd one out, that is the sacred groves. Next question, question number 27. The highest number of species in the world represented by option A, algae, option B, lichens, option C, fungi, option D, mosses. So here the algae, yes, options A, algae, that has the that is not have the highest number of species. Lichens also not have the highest number of species. So mosses, which have the some number of species, not the highest one, but the fungi that has the highest number of species, around 1,50,000, around, I don't know the exact number, but around that many species are there in fungi. So option C is the correct one. But when the angiosperm is there means, so angiosperm also have the most number of species. Okay. Question number 28. The place where the threatened animals and the plants were protected for special care is known as. So here the threatened animals means they are called as endangered animals, means they are near to extinct. So the threatened animals and plants are protected in situ conservation, ex situ conservation, wildlife sanctuaries, and national parks. So here, in situ conservation means in their original habitat, it is conserved. The organisms are conserved. Wildlife sanctuaries and the national parks are in situ conservation only. So the answer is ex situ conservation. Option B, that is ex situ conservation. Question number 29. Which utilitarian states that humans derive countless direct economic benefits from the nature? Option A, big utilitarian. Option B, broadly utilitarian. Option C, narrowly utilitarian. Option D, small utilitarian. Here, there are three reasons to conserve the biodiversity. The first one, narrowly utilitarian, and the second one, broadly utilitarian, and the third one, the cultural beliefs, right? Here, the humans derive countless benefits like food and industrial products and fodder, then some fruits, some industrial products like tannins and the medicines. So these all are derived from the some plants. So these are countless direct economic benefits. So that is narrowly utilitarian. So the third one. So that is the narrowly utilitarian. Broadly utilitarian means so it helps in the pollination and the oxygen production, that all belongs to the broadly utilitarian. So option C, uh, narrowly utilitarian is the correct answer. Question number 30. How many species of plants contribute to the traditional medicine used by native peoples around the world? Here, how many species of plants contribute to the traditional medicines used by the native people around the world? 2500, 2000, 5000, 25,000. Yes, what is the correct answer for this? Not 2500, not 2000, 5000. So the correct option is option D. 25,000 of species are used in a traditional medicine by the native people. So that is 25,000. Okay. Dear students, we are taking the class till 7:30. So be quiet and listen the class. We'll solve some more questions in this class. Around 30 questions we solved. I hope you are enjoying this. ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವು ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ದ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಈಗ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಟು till 7:30. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಹಾಫ್ ಆನ್ ಅವರ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಸೊ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 31. What is the percentage of total oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere is released by the Amazon forest? So 50%, 20%, 40%, 2%. So ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಅಮೆಝಾನ್ ರೈನ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಅರ್ತ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 50%. ನೋ, ನಾಟ್ ಅ 50%. 20%, no, not 20%. Sorry, 20% is correct one. 40% and 2%, that is the wrong one. So around 20% of the oxygen that is contributed by the Amazon rainforest. Okay, so that is very important. Let's move to the question number 32. The Convention on Biological Diversity was held at Rio de Janeiro in this year. Option A 2002, option B 1992, option C 1985, option D 1986. See here, so this 1986, 1985, that is not mentioned. So here 2002 and the 1992. So in the year 1992, the Convention on Biological Diversity was held at Rio de Janeiro. Okay. So here all the countries, they are recommended to prevent the loss of biodiversity loss, and other um, directions are given to the all the countries. So that is in the 1992. So in the year 2002, world summit was held world summit was held. So that is in Johannesburg. That was in Johannesburg, South Africa. Okay, so that is at the Johannesburg, South Africa. So in that summit, all the countries pledged to protect their biodiversity loss in all the levels. So that is in the year 2002, but the Rio de Janeiro, that is 1992. Option B is the correct answer for this question. Next question, question number 33. Among the following causes of extinction, the evil quartet, which is considered the most important driver of the species extinction. Option A, co-extinction. Option B, habitat loss and fragmentation. Option C, over-exploitation for the economic gain. Option D, alien species invasion. So these all are the causes of extinction. So these all four, co-extinction, habitat loss, over-exploitation, alien species invasion. So these all are the example for the reasons for the loss of biodiversity. See here, causes of the extinction. Which one is the correct one? Which is the most important driver of species extinction? That is habitat loss and fragmentation. So when the habitat, the particular habitat, so where the organisms are living, the thick forest, dense forest, so when the habitat was removed, so that causes the species extinction, because they don't have the place to live. They are not getting, they will not get the food and other shelter, everything. So habitat loss and the fragmentation, you know that construction of roads, railway tracks um, uh, in between the forest area, by removing the certain trees and plants in a particular area. So that is the fragmentation. So this is the major important driver of the species extinction. Yes, co-extinction also cause the species loss of diversity, and the over exploitation, alien species also cause the uh, extinction of species, but the most important one is the habitat loss and the fragmentation. Option option B is the correct one. Next one, which one of the following is not a method of ex situ conservation? So here national park, so that is also ex situ conservation. Sorry, not a method of ex situ, so that is what you call in situ. That is in situ. Okay. Cryopreservation, that is ex situ conservation. Then seed bank, where the different varieties, the genetic strains of the seeds are stored for the future, is that is also ex situ conservation. Field gene bank, where the plants are grown in a particular area, so that is also ex situ conservation. But the national park, that is the in situ conservation. So option B is the correct one, national park. Write the correct option. Then question number 34. Which region exhibits the highest species diversities global scale? Western Ghats of India, Madagascar, Himalayas, Amazon forest. See here, highest species diversity. Which region exhibit the highest region diversity? Here, Western Ghats. ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಘಾಟ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಘಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀಜನ್ ಅನ್ನ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಘಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎಂಡಮಿಸಮ್, ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಚ್ biological diversity, but not the highest one. Madagascar, then the Himalayas, they are also have the endemism, and for the particular species, they have the species richness. So that is not a highest species diversity, but Amazon rainforest ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು around 40,000 ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅಂಡ್ 3,000 ಫಿಶಸ್ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅಂಡ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 1 lakh ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ವರ್ಟಿಬ್ರೇಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್, ಅಂಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ species variety, so that you can see in the Amazon forest. That is option D. Next question. According to the conservative estimate by Robert May, global species biodiversity is about. So already we studied this question alva. So ಎಷ್ಟು? So that is 1.5 million, 7 million, 20 million, 50 million. According to the estimation by the Robert May. So according to the IUCN, what is the full form of IUCN? That is the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. That is 1.5 million. So the total diversity that is explained or that is estimated by the Robert May, that is 7 million. Yes, option B is the correct one. Question number 36. Which one of the following is example for in situ? Botanical garden, seed bank, wildlife sanctuary, cryopreservation. So here you know the answer for this question. I'll not explain again this question. Okay. So find out the answer for this question. Question number 37. The term biodiversity refers to diversity at species level only, genetic level, ecosystem level, all the levels of biological organization. What is the term the biodiversity refers to? So biodiversity andre enu? Species level only? No, it does not explain the only species level. Genetic level? No. Ecosystem level? No. So it explains the all the levels of biological organization. Option D is the correct one. Okay. Next question. Which animal is found in the Western Ghats? Option A, lion-tailed macaque. Option B, snow leopard. Option C, Tibetan antelope. And option D, one-horned rhinoceros. See here, the one-horned rhinoceros, they are confined to the northeast region, Assam region. The Tibetan antelope, so that is also a North Indian region, Tibetan region. Snow leopard, that is located in the, that is found in the Himalayan regions where the snow is more. Then lion-tailed macaque. So this lion-tailed macaque, that is confined to the Western Ghats. So that's the type of, that is the type of monkeys. So they're called as lion-tailed macaque. So confined to the Western Ghats. Option A is the correct one. Next question. The region in a biosphere reserve where the human activities strictly prohibited is called option A buffer zone, option B core zone, option C transition zone, option D restoration zone. So, illnodi buffer zone, transition zone, restoration zone means where the human activities, the small range of human activities allowed. But the core zone, the human activities are not allowed. So option B, the core zone where the human activities are not allowed. Option B is the correct one. Next question. Which of the following is the best method for germplasm or seed conservation? Option A, herbarium. Option B, botanical garden. Option C, seed bank. Option D, zoological park. Here, the herbarium means where the plants, so they are conserved in a dried form alva. Herbarium ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. Botanical garden means where the plant species are grown and conserved. Seed bank means so where the different strains of seeds are conserved in a low temperature, so that is a seed bank. And zoological park where the animals are conserved out of their original habitat. So here best method of germplasm or seed conservation is option C, that is the seed bank. Okay, so that is the correct option. Okay, let's solve some assertion reason based question. Okay, assertion reason based question. See, question number 41. Species richness is highest in tropical regions. Reason, the tropics remained undisturbed for millions of years, allowing more species diversification. Here, option A, both A and R true. R is the correct explanation. Option B, both A and R true. R is the not correct explanation. And A is true, R is false, A is false, R is true. Okay, so these are the options. So let's see the assertion. Species richness is highest in the tropical regions. That is the correct one. Compared to the temperate and the polar regions, the species richness is high in the tropical regions. Then reason, the tropics remained undisturbed for the millions of years, allowing more species diversification. Yes, that is the correct reason. That is also one of the correct reason. The region that is undisturbed, so which do not undergone any glaciation, so ಅಲ್ಲಿ glacier formation ಆಗೋದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಒಳಗಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ there, so the species they grown very different species are grown, so that cause the species diversification. So that is also correct reason for the assertion. So here both A and R are true. Yes, both are true and R is the correct explanation for A. So R is the correct explanation. And the one more thing, so here which receives the more sunlight and also the tropical region, that is the less seasonal and predictable so environment, so that is also one of the reason, but this one is also one of the reason to explain this assertion. Okay, next question number 42. Assertion: habitat loss is the most important cause of biodiversity decline. Reason: habitat loss leads to fragmentation, reducing population size and the gene flow. See here, both A and R true. R is the correct explanation. Both are true. R is not the correct explanation. A is true, R is false. A is false, R is true. Okay. So let's see the answer. Habitat loss is the most important cause of biodiversity decline. That is the correct one. Reason: habitat loss leads to fragmentation. Yes, loss leads to the fragmentation, reducing the population size and gene flow. So the population, the organisms living in a particular area, so the population size decreases and gene flow also decreases. So here the reason that is also correct one. Here both A and R are true. R is the correct explanation for A. Okay, so that is the correct one, option A. Okay, let's move to the question number 43. Assertion: sacred groves help in conserving the biodiversity. Reason: they are protected by local communities due to religious beliefs. Yes, here both A and R true, are correct. R explains the A. Both A and R true, are not explain. R is the not correct explanation. A is true, R false. A false, R true. Okay. See here, assertion: sacred groves help in conserving the biodiversity. Yes, sacred groves which are located in the different parts of India, like Aravali Hills, Jaintia, so these are different regions. So how they are protected? Because of the local communities religious beliefs, right? So that also help religious, because of the religious beliefs they are not cutting the trees and they are not hunting the animals, so that is the reason, so the biodiversity is protected. So here both A and R true, are correct explanation. R is the correct explanation for A. So 43 is also, option A is the correct answer. Okay, let's move to the question number 20. Sorry, question number 44. Assertion: the extinction of host species may lead to the co-extinction of its parasite. Reason: parasites have high host specificity. See, the extinction of host ನೋಡಿ, ಈಗ ಪ್ಯಾರಸೈಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಡಿರೈವ್ಸ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಹೋಸ್ಟ್. ಸೊ the parasites are not able to produce their food, they absorb, they get the food from the host. So if the host is uh, Host is extinct. The host is not there means the parasite species also extinct. So that is called as co-extinction. Alva. So that is called as co-extinction. When the host species extinct, then it also cause the extinction of the parasites which depend on that host, because the parasites have high host specificity, means the particular parasite able to live on particular host only. So it is not the parasite which is not able to live on the another host of the different species, right? So that is the reason the parasites have high host specificity. Yes, that is the correct one. So here A and R true are correct explanation. A and R true are not the correct explanation. A is true, R is false. A is false, R is true. So yes, both are true only, right? So both the statements are true. So here A and R true. R is the correct explanation for A. So this is the correct answer. Let's solve question number 45. Assertion ex situ conservation involves the protection of species outside their natural habitat. Reason: cryopreservation and the seed banks are example for ex situ conservation. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ex situ conservation definition ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? It involves the protection of species outside their natural habitat. So that is the correct statement. Then the cryopreservation and the seed bank are examples of ex situ conservation. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ cryopreservation ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, seed bank ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Cryopreservation ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ gametes are preserved so in a low temperature, so which are used to produce the new organism. Seed banks means where the different strains of seeds are conserved in a low temperature. So when the suitable environmental and condition is there, so the seeds are grown in a particular area and the seeds are preserved, right? So here, so both A and are true. So that is the correct one. Both assertion is also correct one. Reason is also correct. But R explains the A. So here cryopreservation and seed bank. So they are the ex situ conservation. So these two examples. So they explain the A. So they explain the ex situ conservation. Alva. So here these both cryopreservation and seed banks, they explain the ex situ conservation. So that is the correct one. So here both A and R true. R explains the A is the correct option. Okay. Yes. Any doubt in this question? Not B. A is the correct one. Any doubt? Okay. So dear students, till now we solved around 45 important KCET questions. So in these questions, I covered some previous year questions, CET questions also that will be helpful for your preparation. Okay. So now ಇಲ್ಲಿ 45 questions ಅನ್ನ solve ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. So dear students, try to solve more and more questions from each chapter. Okay. So ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ chapter ಇಂದ ನೀವು ಅಥವಾ ಇದೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಂದ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸಮ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಫುಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ CET ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈಗ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ CET ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ MCQ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ MCQ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಈ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಈ ಒಂದು MCQ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು ಪೀಪಲ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕಮೆಂಟ್. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು 1 minute ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ ಏನಾದರೂ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Okay, thank you, dear students. Yes.